Got to listen up, kids. Are you being underpaid on your monthly allowance? I'm going to tell you right now if you are. According to this, kids in the U.S. receive an average of $119 a month in allowance. 119 and 14% of kids in the U.S. get over $250 a month in their allowance.
What?
Did you get allowance as a kid?
Yeah, I guess I did in a sense, but I had to work for everything. I had to mow lawns and I had to do things around the house. I wasn't just handed free money, and then I had side hustles that I always did as a kid because I was not allotted nearly this amount of money.
See, I think that's cool if you pay. I mean, if your kid's helping out and you give them a little bit of allowance, you kind of teach them how the real world works, right?
That's how I prefer
totally.
it. To me personally, I think that is the way that it should be done, is that kids should be working for their money.
But you got to earn it, kid. Not just getting it by laying on the couch, eating my Cheetos.
Well, we had to, like my job growing up was I had to do the dishes every single night. And I didn't get allowance for that. I got allowance for if I did extra things on top of the dishes. The dishes were just like, okay, that's your job.
Earn your keep, kid.
Mm-hmm. Earn your keep. And then if you do other stuff beyond the dishes, we'll throw you a little scratch. But it was so inconsistent. Sometimes they would have a little extra money, so I would get it for doing stuff, but then sometimes I would not get it and I would still do the stuff.
Oh, I would figure out a real cheap way to get an allowance. As soon as my mom and dad would have alone time on a Sunday, I'd knock on the door. My dad would be like, oh, dang it, who's knocking on the door? I'm like, hey, Dad, I was going to go to the mall. Here's $20. Leave me alone.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of curious if you find this rate to be right or if you find it to be extreme.
That's extreme.
You think it's extreme?
Absolutely.
Okay, $119 a month in allowance is too much.
I think so.
How old's the kid, first of all?
20.
Like a 6-year-old doesn't need $119 per month.
To me, I would say middle school and on up. That's where they're kind of going out and doing their own thing.
It depends on how hard the kid's working, I think. I think if the kid is trying, I'm cool with allowance. I think if the kid's being a slug, I like the idea of what your mom did. No, there's certain things you're doing because you live here and I'm paying the rent and I'm taking care of you and we all help each other out. And then when the kid, goes extra full gorilla, you give him a little extra. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, right now, just kind of asking, is $119 a month too much for an allowance? 87% of people on KBJ TV are saying yes.
Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, I was surprised by the number.
A lot.
I thought that was high as well.
Of course.
Now, maybe it's just that people don't do allowance as they used to. Are you counting in there if you're paying your kid's phone bill, if they have one of those? Are those the kind of things that you account? Because that's not a necessity that you're still going to pay for. So what do you deem that? Because a lot of times parents just step in and pay for everything for their kid anyway. And so there's really no need. To me, an allowance is like, okay, you get to spend it on whatever you want.
I just like the kid to be reminded that the parents are in charge until you get out of here till you're 18, and we all help each other as a house. And if I'm helping you out, you got to help me out.
I agree.
Okay. So I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear, in kind of an impromptu thing, if you've got a kid below the age of 18, what is their age? And then what would you say you give them a month? And this is just for fun money. This would be an allowance. If you don't call it an allowance, what would be the fun money you give them?
I was giving Rocco $5 a week. So $20
a month.
That was what he was getting, was $20 a month. Pretty far from your 118.
Right, at the age of 10.
He's 10.
10. Okay, so $20 a month. So that would be your number.
So my mom and dad would trick us into games sometimes, and I love a game. And if they if your room was messy, they'd go, okay, you've got 2 minutes to pick up everything that's red and put it away where it needs to go. And then it would change. Okay, now pick up everything that's green. And it turned into a game.
Pick up all that mold.
Pick up the mushrooms growing out of the wall.
To me, the question I have is, what are parents doing to teach their kids fiscal responsibility, because I think that is challenging. Because if you are not a finance major, being able to pass on whatever information you have about financial wisdom may be limited. And then also to communicate it so kids understand, because immediately they just gloss over and they don't really listen to anything you're saying. And that's one thing that parents were saying is they are struggling teaching their kids about budgeting and money management. They can't either find an effective way to teach it or just a way that it's sinking in. And then kids, as they get older, are complaining, saying, I never was really taught great money management and budgeting.
Well, 8-year-olds now have to have an iPhone. They have to have that. They also have to have the glasses that record everybody. Gotta make sure that happens.
So I wonder what you are doing to try to teach your kid. Is there an easy way to do it? Is there a TV show, a program, an app, or something like that you can get for them where you could start putting in a little bit of an allowance? They deal with the money management stuff and say, look, it's your money will be there. Just kind of like you get a little paycheck. Here's what you got to do. We'll drop your paycheck in almost like you're a little employee, and you start kind of learning the ropes of budgeting and finance.
I was on that Acorns Early app for Rocco, and then automatically every Friday I would put $5 in his account, and he had a little debit card with his name on it, and it was kind of cool, but then he would go to use that little card places and it wasn't accepted everywhere, and he would get frustrated and tell me my money meant nothing.
Your money means nothing to me.
He would try to go on Amazon, and Amazon wouldn't take it because it's not like a real credit card. You know, it's like a kiddie credit card. It's like a kid debit card.
Right.
And so Amazon would flag it, and he would get so pissed.
Well, I love what Denny's is doing with his kid Lachlan, my godson. I love this kid. They have little chores for him where he has to feed the dog. They're teaching him at a very young age that, hey, we're all helping out on this farm.
I love it.
I do love that.
Got a message here from Kate. She said, my rule is $1 for a year of age per week starting in middle school.
Huh?
I don't know. I just read it.
$1 for every year
It's
of
$1
age.
/year of age per week starting in middle school.
I got to crunch these numbers, Kevin. I'm
Okay, so
sorry.
if they're 10 in the 6th grade,
You can just go with
$10 a week?
$10 a week, I think, is what she's trying to say.
All right.
Michael is on here from Lake Clark Shores. What is your thought on kids' allowance? What age should kids get it? How much are you thinking here, Michael?
I'm thinking that if they're over 14, that's working age, no more allowance, man. If they're 14 or under, then they should get allowance based on some work that they put in. You know, $20 a week seems very fair to me, but I'm not giving them any charity here. That's not helping your kid for sure.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I think that really is the fine line of it. You want the kids to have a little bit of money to understand fiscal responsibility, but you don't want to give them too much.
I mean, when I was able to be of age to work and get my own money, I couldn't believe the concept of going, so I get to umpire baseball games and get paid for it? Oh, what?
Yeah.
It was exciting for me.
That is, because you loved baseball.
I did.
Now, Ann says, my kid's school has a finance class, and that's great. And I guess the question is, when do you start that? When can it really start sinking in for kids? And it may vary by age. Chicago Lulu, she said, I'm teaching my son now. He's 19. I think he's the perfect age that works for him. Some people might say, you should start younger. So, I guess it might be the aptitude of your child as well.
Totally. And sometimes when they're like Rocco's 10, he's not able to understand, budgeting and credit cards and how to manage money. But like Magnolia, my daughter who's 20, we have lots of conversations about money and finances and how to, make sure that you don't overspend and how to budget for the whole year. Because, she's helping to pay for her college. So she sees everything.
Yep.
There's a video. This dad films his kid. I guess his kid got his first job and got his first paycheck. And the kid had no idea about taxes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he's thinking he's getting, $350 and he gets his check back and the dad's filming and the kid's, got like 160 or 170 in his paycheck. He's going, why do I not have $300? What's going on?
It's amazing. Yeah,
That's taxes, my son.
Yeah.
That is what happened.
Welcome to the world, kid.
His kid was distraught. He couldn't believe it.
That's why you got to teach your kids to do jobs where they can get paid under the table, like babysitting, lawn mowing, car washing.
Yeah, I mean, there are.
Kid, taxes suck.
The kid realized, he's like, I don't understand why this is happening.
One text says, my son is 14. I got him a credit card that is attached to my Visa credit card that he can use. He gets $15 a week. He did lose it the very first time he used it, but now he's very responsible. Okay.
You only leave your card in the machine once, and then you remember moving forward that you got to take your card out.
But how cozy was it, though? Every now and then your parent would give you like a 20 because you did something and you weren't really expecting it.
I don't know what that felt like.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry.
I still haven't had a parent give me a 20.
I'm sorry. I wish I could hug a young Virginia. That sounds creepy. I'm sorry.
That girl had to go buy blow pops and sell them at school to make scratch.
She does know how to make $1 this morning.
I was a hustler. I was selling candy out of my backpack and stickers.
I respect the game.
I had a whole enterprise, illegal, but enterprise going on.
There was a kid at my school that used to sell garbage pail kids. And I'm like, man, this kid is racking it in.
You could sell stickers and candy, and you could have a nice little business.
Somebody else said the Greenlight app provides a debit card, payment for chores or other tasks, and they can even invest in the stock market that way. Oh. So awesome.
Oh, okay, now you're making your kid a little too smart, and now I'm annoyed.
Now your kid's annoying.
Yeah, let me guess. So you have a sticker on the back of your car. My kid is an honor student.